Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is the parable of the unjust judge. This parable will be one of 54 parables found on a playlist on my YouTube channel called The Parables of Jesus Made Simple. That'll be the name of the playlist. I'm the author of 57 Christian books found under the name Matthew Robert Payne on Amazon. I'm also the author of 850 articles found under the name of Matthew Robert Payne on eZine Articles, EZINE, articles.com. I'm also the creator of over 2,500 videos that are found on YouTube where you're watching this. I'm a teacher of the Word of God, and I'm also called to be a prophet. I hope that you enjoy this parable and you get something out of it and you're encouraged. I'm just going to share the screen and teach the parable. And then he spoke a parable to them that men always ought to pray and not lose heart, saying, there was in a certain city a judge who did not fear God nor regard man. Now there was a widow in that city, and she came to him saying, get justice for me from my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I do not fear God nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. Then the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said, and shall God not avenge his own elect who cry out day and night to him, though he bears long with them? I tell you that he'll avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? First of all, Jesus started here saying, then he spoke a parable to them that men always ought to pray and not lose heart. So I want to say that the things of God are found, and the treasures of God are found when you don't lose heart for praying. So that's one of the keys, and this is what this parable is about, that this widow would not give up on the judge. She seemed like she came back time and time again. And the judge, rather than doing justice or really considering the justice of God, or even having fear of man or regarding her as a person, the judge answered the prayer, answered the request, just to stop her bugging him. And the Lord was just essentially saying that if you really need something, you need to bug God about it and get on his case. Now, there's a couple of other keys to prayer here that I want to share. In Matthew, in John 15, verse 7, it says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, you'll ask for what you desire and it shall be done for you. So many Christians, and I want to apologize for getting back to this. I'm not really apologizing, but I'm saying the words anyway. The word abide is obey. If you obey, if you obey the commandments of Jesus, if you obey the teachings of Jesus, you'll abide in Jesus. And if you abide in Jesus and you obey my words, Jesus' words, if my words abide in you, in other words, the words of Jesus, the commandments of Jesus, if they're being practiced by you, you'll ask what you desire and it should be done for you. So it could be that you could be asking for something and not be close to Jesus and not be obeying Jesus, and you can ask for eternity and it won't be done. So this parable is certainly not saying if you're living outside of the will of God and not walking with God, that you'll get what you ask for if you keep on asking. Because it says here, then the Lord said, hear what the unjust said, and shall not God avenge his own elect who cry out day and night to him? Um, I've shared this before, but when you're initially saved, you're a servant or you're a disciple. When you've obeyed for a while, you become a friend of God's. John 15:14 says, "You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer will I call you servant, for a servant does not know what his master is doing, but I've called you friends. For all things I've heard from my Father, I've made known to you." So you become a friend of God's after you've been a servant for a while. When you've been a friend for quite a while, you become a son. When you've been a son for quite a while and you enter into intimacy with Jesus, you become the bride. It's when you're a son and when you're a bride that you become the elect. The elect are people that a small portion of people in a total lot of people. So um, Jesus is saying that he'll answer the prayers of the elect. He's not saying that he's going to answer the prayers of a tear. He's not saying that he's going to answer the prayers of a goat. He's not saying that he's going to answer the prayers of a person who said they'll go to the vineyard and has refused. He's not saying that he'll answer the prayers of a foolish virgin. He's not saying that he'll answer the person who's disobedient. Do you understand? I hope I hope you understand this. Um, and we've covered all those parables. What a disobedient person is, what a sheep, a goat is, what a tare is, um, and I hope you understand. 1 John 2:3. Now by this we know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He who says, I know him and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever keeps his word, truly the love of God is perfected in him. By this we know that we're in him. He who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk just as he walked. So someone who says they're abiding in Jesus must behave like Jesus, must walk like Jesus. So in John 15 before, it says that Jesus will answer the prayers of people who abide in him. And it says here in the parable that his elect who cry out day and night, these are people who are abiding in him. The elect are people who are abiding in him. So you may be taught that this parable is about all you have to do is persist in prayer, and that simply isn't true. And I'm sorry to bring you the truth. Here's another thing. James 4:2. You lust and do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. So there's another reason why people don't receive what they ask for. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. So these are people who the cares of the world and the deceitful of riches are choking them, and they're asking God for something and they're not receiving it because God knows they're just going to waste it on their own pleasure and their own lusts. And so they don't receive. So you could be a person who's begging God for something and not receive it because you haven't got a close relationship with God and you're not obeying God and you're not abiding. You could ask God for something and not receive it because you're not abiding and you're not the elect. You could ask for God for something and not receive it because God knows you're going to spend it on your pleasures. So this parable does teach that if you're close to God and you're walking with God, your continual prayer will bring forth the fruit. God is long suffering and he suffers with us for a long time. and has mercy and justice and grace on us. And we're meant to be long suffering too. We should be able to have a faith that suffers long. And it's this long suffering is the fruit that will bear. Uh, this is the fruit of the Spirit that will bear a reward for us if we wait and we endure for the things that we want to do. So I hope I've shed light on this for you. And imagine this is a teaching that is different to what you normally understand. If you enjoyed this parable, please press thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, press thumbs down. If you want to encourage me, please comment on the video. If you want to join my channel, please join my channel and subscribe. God bless.